NTAi International News.
Federal government moves to revive the nation's economy, reviews visa process to encourage investment. Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative donates food items to displaced persons in 6 states of the region. Nigerian Army wins boxing championship, set to represent Nigeria at 2017 Commonwealth Youth Games and World Championship. Hello, welcome to NTAi International News. I'm Nancy Godiangunihu. Governor of Katsina State, Aminu Mazari, says there is no vacuum in government as President Muhammadu Buhari complied with the provisions of the Constitution by communicating to the National Assembly his vacation and transmitting power to the Vice President. This was at a special prayer session held in Katsina, and Garba Muhammad Natala reports.
It was one in a series of special prayers for the speedy recovery of President Muhammadu Buhari held in Katsina State. Several Islamic scholars stood turns to speak on the importance of fervent prayers and need to sustain it for those in authority, but especially for President Buhari, who is recuperating outside the country.
He says if the leaders are all right, then the entire country will be all right.
The Islamic scholars urge Nigerians to continue to uphold the president in prayers, more so that he had devoted his time and life to restore the nation to its pride of place. For his part, Katsina State Governor Aminu Mazari clarified that there was no vacuum in government, as President Buhari duly complied with the provisions of the Constitution before his departure.
President Muhammadu Buhari has complied with the extant rules of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which says if the president is going on leave or if he is sick, he should communicate same to the National Assembly. By that communication, the vice president becomes acting president with full powers. There is no vacuum in leadership of Nigeria today, because the vice president is acting president with full powers.
The special prayers was attended by traditional leaders, government functionaries, and people from neighboring states. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTAi News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has placed a telephone call from London to the Emir of Katsina, Alhaji Abdulmumini Usman, over the death of his mother, which occurred on Sunday. President Buhari condoled with the traditional ruler, urging him to take solace in the fact that Hajia Aminatu May Bandaki lived a good life devoted to serving Allah and humanity. The deceased is survived by 9 children and has been buried according to Muslim rites. This is contained in a statement signed by Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. Another development, Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki on Sunday extolled the noble virtues of ex-President Alhaji Shehu Shagari to mark his 92nd birthday anniversary. Saraki, in a statement by his Special Advisor, Media and Publicity, Yusuf Olaniyonu, in Abuja, lauded the sterling contributions of the nonagenarian to the sustenance of democracy, national peace and development. While wishing the ex-president many more celebrations, Saraki said that the political class will continue to crave the wise counsel of Shagari on ways to overcome the current economic challenges and his prayers to help move the country forward. The federal government has reviewed visa processes for foreigners who wish to visit Nigeria for business and tourism purposes, with a view to removing bureaucratic bottlenecks and encourage business travelers and tourists to give the economy a boost. In a statement signed by Shegun Adeyemi, the Special Assistant to the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the measure is part of the federal government's action plan to ease doing business in Nigeria, as well as efforts to boost tourism within the overall context of the administration's economic diversification agenda. The minister said the Nigerian Immigration Service has reviewed requirements for Nigerian visas to make them more customer-friendly, and that details of the review are available on the Nigeria Immigration Service official website, www.immigration.gov.ng. The statement added that the type of visas currently reviewed include visa on arrival processes, business visas, tourist visas, and transit visas. The statement further explained that business visas are available for foreigners who wish to travel to Nigeria for meetings, conferences, seminars, contract negotiation, marketing, sales, purchase and distribution of Nigerian goods, trade fairs, job interviews, training of Nigerians, emergency relief work, crew members, staff of NGOs, staff of NGOs, researchers, and artists. The minister said tourist visas are also available to foreign travelers who wish to visit Nigeria for the purpose of tourism or to visit family and friends, while Nigerian visa on arrival is a class of short visit visa issued at the port of entry, and it is available to frequently traveled high net worth investors and intending visitors who may not be able to obtain visa at the Nigerian missions or embassies in their countries of residence due to the absence of a Nigerian mission in such countries or exigencies of urgent travel needs. The minister added that other actions that have been taken by the NIS for the ease of doing business and facilitation of traveling for Nigerians and foreigners alike include the harmonization of multiplicity of airport arrival and departure form cards in a single form for all agencies of government to save foreign visitors from the current frustrating practice of filling 3 different forms or more, and the decentralization of immigration services to the state commands. On reissuance of passports for change of names due to marital reasons or lost cases, the NIS have been decentralized to all state commands and foreign missions to save passport holders from additional costs and inconvenience of traveling to the service headquarters in Abuja, while additional 28 offices have been opened for issuance of resident permits in Nigeria, bringing the issuance of combined expatriate residence permits and aliens cards closer to the doorstep of employers of expatriates at all 36 states and federal capital territory. This measure, the minister said, fits perfectly into the 60-day National Action Plan for Ease of Doing Business in Nigeria, as approved recently by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, as well as the administration's efforts to boost international tourism. Now, pursuant to its mandate, the Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative distributed food items worth millions of naira to 6 states of Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, Taraba, Bauchi, and Gombe. The gesture, which is at the instance of the chairman of the committee, Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma, had the internally displaced persons take home rice, beans, millet, vegetable oil, and Indomie noodles. Joseph Orok reports.
The Special Committee on the Northeast Initiative had rehabilitated schools, police stations, and hospitals destroyed by Boko Haram in the 6 affected states. Now, the committee is moving to actualize its humanitarian response in line with the Buhari plan for the region. The distribution of these food items, which was undertaken simultaneously in the 6 states of the region, is to further alleviate the suffering of the displaced persons. In Adamawa State, the distribution in Hong and Gombe local government areas took place in the state secretariats, with council chairmen, religious leaders, youth, and the IDPs in attendance. The distribution in Michika and Madagali was done through the wards and pooling units.
Today we are starting the pilot project, and we are moving materials to Madagali, Michika, Hong, and Gombe. And the next consignment will go to the other 3 local governments, Mobi, North, Mobi South, and Maya.
In separate responses, the people appreciated the federal government and solicited more security presence to enable the people, who are mostly farmers, return to their farm. Joseph Orok, NTAi News.
The Veterinary Medical Association of Nigeria has commended the steps being taken by the federal government towards addressing incessant farmers and herdsmen clashes in the country. This is coming as the veterinarians pledge to support the government to achieve the objective. Musa Baba Ali reports.
The members of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association are of the view that frequent clashes between farmers and herdsmen poses a great threat not only to their profession, but also to the socio-economic well-being of the country. They therefore urge the federal and state governments to come up with a strategy that will encourage farming and livestock production for the socio-economic well-being of the country.
While appreciating the efforts of federal government agencies in tackling the problem, I wish to state that a functional veterinary services at all levels of government in Nigeria will bring the needed sanity and coordination in the livestock industry.
It is our firm belief at the level of the Veterinary Council that being professionals will not allow the recession in the country to wear us down. We will use our power for diagnosis, use our power for treatment, use our public health initiative to make sure that we remain afloat.
The summit identifies obsolete and weak legislation as well as inadequate doctors as major challenges in Oyo, Kaduna, Imo, Bayelsa, Gombe, and Enugu states.
The Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency is collaborating with National Emergency Management Agency on data generation and flood management. This was part of agreements reached between the heads of the agencies in Abuja. Here again is Musa Baba Aliyu with details.
Flooding is one of the environmental challenges that have over the years been posing threats to the socio-economic well-being of the country. Environmentalists have been advocating data generation on both surface and underground water as part of measures to address the natural disaster. It is in the light of this that the National Emergency Management Agency and the Nigerian Hydrological Services agreed to partner on flood alert through data generation.
NIMET, for example, is trying to tidy up their seasonal rainfall prediction. From where we'll take it up to see how these interplay with all the environmental factors and then come up with the likely flood scenarios for the country.
Meanwhile, participants at the National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction have called on governments at all levels to mainstream disaster risk reduction into their plans, policies, and programs. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of the meeting held in Abuja at the weekend. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTAi News.
Industrial output is believed to have a significant impact on economic growth and development in any nation. In view of this, economic experts have stressed the need to enhance public-private partnership to boost industrialization for economic growth in Nigeria. Justin Bemunyi reports.
Economic analysts are of the view that industries play a vital role in the economic growth and development of any country. Industrialization is regarded as a central object of economic policy in most of the developing economies like Nigeria.
There's not a single country in this world that has reached the high stage of economic and social development without having developed an advanced industrial sector.
In the Nigerian economy, the goal of industrialization has been pursued vigorously for many years by the various governments using various strategies. In identifying the importance of industrialization, an economic and finance expert, Dr. Emma Isong, observed that industrial development in Nigeria should rather be motivated as a culture towards a rapid economic growth.
So we have a lot to be desired if we must maintain industrialization. Not just bringing machines, but industrialization is in the mind. Industrialization is a mentality. Industrialization is a culture of timekeeping, a culture of waste management, a culture of production, distribution through the middlemen and the retailers till it reaches to the market.
To achieve the desired level of economic growth and development, the economic analyst said Nigeria has to fully embrace the public-private partnership strategy and strive to implement policies on ease of doing business in the country.
It must be individuals, private investors, believing in the government policy, involving in the government programs that will synergize and cause what I call a public-private partnership that will drive this kind of environment for industrialization.
More efforts, he points out, is required as industrialization is regarded as a veritable channel of achieving lofty and desirable goals of improved technology and improved quality of lives of the citizens of the country. In Abuja, Justin Bemunyi, NTAi News.
INEC has released the results of Saturday's legislative rerun elections in Eche local government area of Rivers State. The result shows that Jerome Eke of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, polled 15,221 votes to defeat APC's Obonna Nwoke, who polled 6,220 votes to clinch the House of Representatives seat. Similarly, Tony Njoku of the People's Democratic Party polled 4,162 votes to defeat APC's Golden Choma, who polled 1,118 votes to represent the constituency and the Rivers State House of Assembly. INEC had earlier said it would go ahead and announce the results despite pockets of violence, snatching of voting materials, and low turnout of voters that characterized the process. This is the news on NTAi International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria, capital city. We shall be right back.
NTAi International. This is where the news begins. Every breaking news and developments on the African continent.
Welcome to NTAi International News. State House correspondent Hamza Musa.
In-depth news analysis and professional perspectives on all sides of the story.
Experts say the issue of security
energies and resources must be mobilized to promote every day on NTAi International. We take you inside Africa and the world.
NTAi International News. Africa as it is.
Utterances devoid of hate or inflammation by both religious and traditional rulers are a recipe for further entrenchment of peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. This was the thrust of our one-day peace and security conference organized by the Northern Youth Wing of Christian Youth for Peace and Development Initiative. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This peace song set the tone for the peace conference. Conveners say what the nation needs most now is peace. The fact that traditional and religious leaders are respected members of the community, they hold the key to facilitating peace and harmonious coexistence in Nigeria. The message of the conveners is for religious and traditional leaders to restrain and caution their followers against hate speeches capable of inciting violence and conflicts.
And we have resolved that none of us should be seen speaking and saying something that will create tension and religious disharmony. We have agreed on that.
Without dialogue, we cannot achieve anything.
Different speakers advocated equity, fairness, and justice from the nation's leaders at all times and advised the youths to channel their energies towards productive ventures if they are to take up their position as leaders of tomorrow.
If people like Onayeko and Sultan Abuja preaching this, I think that will go. We need a multiplication of this type of people. The leaders must be able to come out frontally because all these young people follow what the leaders say.
Youth should begin to lead from now. They need to develop peace-building skills.
The participants who were designated peace ambassadors have the mandate of taking the message of peace to their respective states and communities. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTAi News.
Time to move around the globe with some stories making the headlines. Okwetmayong is our guide.
The World Bank's Vice President for Africa, Makhtar Diop, says he has agreed to give Gambia $60 million in budget support after government allegations that former ruler Yahya Jammeh took tens of millions of dollars, leaving it heavily indebted. Diop said this when he met with the new government. He noted that $40 million will be given before June, with the remainder to follow later. And in Malaysia, the police says the airport terminal where the half-brother of North Korea's leader was killed with a nerve agent has been declared free of any hazardous material. Security teams in protective suits had earlier swept the area. Malaysia's health minister said that an autopsy suggested the toxin used to kill Kim Jong-nam caused a very serious paralysis. And in USA, President Donald Trump has announced that he will not attend the White House Correspondents Association dinner on April 29. The glizzy event draws celebrities, journalists, and politicians, normally including the U.S. president. Mr. Trump said he would not attend a day after the White House excluded several major broadcasters and newspapers from a press briefing. Oku Ekpeyong, NTAi News.
On to sports now. The resolve of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, to re-establish the Nigerian Army as a powerhouse of Nigerian sports is on course, as the Nigerian Army boxing team on Saturday, 25th February 2017, emerged winners of the 2017 National Open Boxing Championship. The six-day championship took place at the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos State. In all, boxing teams from 20 states of the Federation, Armed Forces of Nigeria, Nigeria Police Force, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and 9 boxing clubs including Kano Wanko, Alafin, Golden Gloves, WWBA, Abe International, Oba Adeyemi, and Booker Tiger participated in the event. The championship also featured 10 weight categories for male and female and 3 weight categories for female boxers. On the whole, 209 male boxers and 42 female boxers competed for honors during the championship. And the order of merits, Nigerian Army team came first with 4 gold, 1 silver, and 5 bronze medals. Lagos State came second with 3 gold, 6 silver, and 3 bronze medals. Nigeria Police Force came third with 1 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze medal. Ogun State came fourth with 1 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Claudio Ranieri sacked as Leicester City manager less than a year after leading the club to last season's English Premier League triumphs. These are more with Chukunonso Nwabweze.
Hello and welcome to Sports Roundup. We begin this week's edition with an appeal from sports pundits to Nigerian parents and guardians to commit themselves to the sporting development of their children and wards in order to improve their intellect. For these ones, they gather every Tuesday and Thursday at the National Stadium, Abuja, to engage in different athletic events like discus, track and field, amongst others, with a view to representing Nigeria at global championships.
They were gaining energy. They helped me to discover my talents, and I want to become a very good athlete.
I always bring them here after school. And I noticed my children they have improved, even in academically.
Here we go! Ex-international Mike Enaharo, who is the initiator of the Kiss and Play, believes that the program creates a platform where young ones are positively engaged.
We have lost our way in grooming athletics to the point now that Kids and Play became necessary the day we saw washed-up Americans competing under our flag. We are blessed with 180 million people. We can find 12 that will run for us.
And following its annual General Congress midweek in Abuja, the 2016-2017 season of the Nigeria Women Football League has been slated to start on the 25th of March this year, while the second division kicks off 4 days later with an abridged format featuring 2 groups of 16 teams.
The coming on board of the women football is not only a welcome development, but it is also a challenge in development, complementing this adage that whatever men can do, women can do it, if not better.
In a related development, the timetable for the 2016-2017 season of the Nigerian National League was released Thursday in Abuja after the league's annual congress. 32 teams are set to compete for the top prize from the 17th of next month.
With 32 clubs spread all over Nigeria, it means that every part of Nigeria actually has a touch of NNL.
On the heels of their qualification to the CAF Champions League group phase, football enthusiasts said Rangers International and Rivers United can go far in the competition if they are adequately supported by their financiers.
But I see Nigeria's team doing well. I'm not losing sleep over it, but all I just know that we have to be tactically disciplined to have our way in the next round.
Meanwhile, wicked tourists who were unable to progress to the money-spinning stage of the CAF Confederations Cup after losing 1-2 on aggregate against Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces FC vowed to make up by consolidating upon the domestic league.
They did well, but the aspect of converting chances, I think, is the area we should look at. We are here to defend our game plan. That's why you see the game play this way and we come victorious in the match.
Still talking football, FIFA's president Gianni Infantino early last week held an unprecedented summit with members of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, in Johannesburg, South Africa. The executive...
Thank you for watching.